In this video, we're going to take a look at the sort function in Excel. This function is very handy when we have data sets and we want to understand what are the highest or lowest values, if we want to sort or organize information based on dates or alphabetically. Now we'll start by looking at some simple examples and look at how we can combine the sort function with additional functions. And to get us started, the sort function is going to ask for an array, an index, sort order, and whether we want to sort by column or row. And an easy way to think about this formula is where's the data I want to sort, then the optional arguments of which column do I want to sort on. Default will be the first column. Do I want to sort ascending or descending? Ascending being A to Z or from low to high, descending being from Z to A or high to low, and then by column or row with default being column. Now, if we're looking at this data over here for some home sales data, let's say we want to sort the date from the earliest date to the oldest date. So over here, we can start by typing sort, and we can select our data array. So this is the data we want to sort here. And we can close our formula. And there we can see that this data set is now sorted on date with the oldest date being at the top and the most recent dates being at the bottom. Now, if we wanted to sort this on another column, that's where we can get into the additional arguments. So let's say we actually wanted to sort this based on our price. We go back into our formula. In this case, our sort index is which column we want to sort on. So instead of the default be 1, we could move this to column 2. We can enter that into here, close our formula. And here we can see that this is now sorted price low to high. Now, if we wanted this sorted with the highest price, we could then move into our third criteria and adding, if we want it ascending or descending. In this case, we want it descending from highest value to lowest. So we'll hit -1 and then hit enter. And there we can see that our price is now sorted high to low. And if we wanted to sort alphabetically, we could once again change some of our columns. So in this case, we want to sort on, let's say we wanted our agents listed alphabetically, so we could sort that. That'll be our sort index. And if we wanted it alphabetically A to Z, we would change this to 1. And now we have our agents sorted alphabetically. Now let's look at how we can start incorporating additional functions into using sort. So let's say we have our list of agents, and let's say we want to just grab the agents out of this data set and then have them sorted alphabetically. So this is where we could first start with our unique function to get a unique list of all of our agents. And once we have this unique list, we could then wrap this within our sort function. And we can close a parenthesis around the end. And there we have a unique list of our agents sorted alphabetically. We then take a look at using the sort function with the filter function. And this is going to be, how can we filter down this data set to what we're interested in and then taking the sort. So once again, we'll start with the filter part of the function before sorting. So just narrowing down the information we're interested in. So in this case, let's say we want to filter our information for different types. So we'll be looking at column C. So let's say we start with our filter function, and we'll be looking at this array over here. And we only want to include the data when type is equal to house. We type in house, and we can close that. And there we have our filtered data, just including the data that has house. And then from here, we can then sort it. So let's say we want to sort now on price based on the house. So you can enter our sort function, and this will be our array. So we'll jump to the end, we'll add a comma, and our index will be our second column for price. And if we want to sort from high to low, we'll hit -1. And then we'll close that. And now we have our data that's filtered for house and then sorted on price high to low. Now, if we wanted to make this formula more dynamic, instead of manually typing in house, we could have this reference a cell. So one handy thing we could do is if we wanted to create a dynamic dropdown, we could go into our data tab to data validation. We could go to list, and our source will be the data in our type column. Hit OK. And here we can see that this now has house, unit, and townhouse. So instead of typing house, we can have it reference this cell. And then as we hit house, the data populates, and then the formula can dynamically update for unit, and once again sorted high to low, or from townhouse high to low. So very handy to make the formulas more dynamic there. So we went through the sort, unique, sort, filter, and we can also now start combining 3 functions, so using the sort, unique, and the filter. So let's say we wanted to look at agents, and we also wanted to look at it by a different criteria of house. For this, we could start by filtering our data just on the agent data. And let's say we only want to include that when our type is equal to what we have in this column or into this cell. And let's close that. And there we can see that we have all the agents for house. And now let's say we just want to take a unique list. We could then wrap this filter in unique, tap the unique agent list. And now we can then use the sort function to sort this alphabetically. So let's put this by sort. And close the formula around that. And now we have a list of our filtered agents for house that are now sorted. And if we change this, we'll see that for the agents that sold these different types, we'll have their list sorted alphabetically. Now we can get into some additional functions. So this will be using the take function. And this will be able to take certain rows of data that we're interested in. So first we'll start with filtering our data. So let's start with filtering down our array based on our agents. So let's start with our filter function. And we can filter all of this data. And we're interested in when our agent is equal to whatever we have in our dropdown over here. And we'll select this cell. Okay, then we can close that. All right, so this is looking at all of the data over here that's filtered just for this agent. And if we wanted to switch agents, we could then just populate all of its data over to the right here. Now, let's say we wanted to add a sort to have the price sorted high to low. We could go into add our sort function with our sort index being our second column, which is price, and sort order being descending high to low. So add a -1. So now we have the agent that we're filtered to sorted high to low. Now let's say we're just interested in the top 3 prices and we weren't interested in anything below that. We could then add the take function, and this is going to be the array that we're going to take. And let's say we're only interested in 3 rows. And since we've filtered it down to the agent, we sorted it high to low. It's going to take the top 3 rows, which are going to be the top 3 home prices sold. And once again, we can switch for agents and just have the top 3 properties sold for each agent. Now we can take a look at another sort function which operates very similar, and this is the SORTBY function. And so there's a slight change, which is going to be that this can sort by multiple columns. So it's going to be starting with where's the data I want to sort once again, then which array do I want to sort the data by, ascending or descending. Then we can add additional columns to sort by. So what this looks like, if we wanted to take this data over here and sort by agent alphabetically and then by price high to low, how we could do that is by typing sort by, selecting our array of data. And let's say we first want to sort by our agent. We'll select that. And if we want that alphabetically A to Z, we'll hit 1. And this is where we go into our second column we want to sort by. So our second array will be price. And if we want to sort that high to low, we'll hit -1, hit ascending, and close that. And here we can see our data is now sorted by agent alphabetically. Then within that, the highest price being at the top. And we could change this for dates, for land size, so very flexible with what we're interested in sorting by. We can also use this to sort by length. And so if we ever wanted to know like what are the longest characters in our data set, just another example of how we can use a sort by function. Let's say we wanted to sort our country data, and we wanted to sort it by the length of the country. And if we close that, and you can see that we have duplicate values, so we can go back to some of the functions we used earlier. So we can put this into a unique, add a parenthesis around the end. There we can have our countries sorted by the smallest length of characters to the largest. So that's a little bit of a outside example of, but does show the flexibility of combining these with different functions in use cases we might run into. And one other handy thing that can be useful for the sort function, or even combining it with other functions you may be working with, is let's say we're looking at this data and the only columns we're interested in are these first 4 columns, and we don't really care about the method, land size, year built, or country. We could also wrap these in a choose column function, and this will be our array. And if we just wanted the first 4 columns, we could tell Excel we just wanted the first, the second, the third, and the 4th column. And then we could end that with parenthesis, hit enter, and then I'll just pull those first 4 columns, and then we could hide that data and have a more succinct data set. So that was a lot of examples with the sort function, how to combine it with additional functions, so to show you the flexibility as you're using it in Excel and running into different challenges and ways you might want to pull or extract data. It can be very handy to add to your toolkit.